Hey guys, Matt aka Martiln here, and today I thought I'd do a track walkthrough of one of my recent releases, which is a remix I did for a good friend of mine, Spectoral, and his awesome track, Sweet Deprivation. Unfortunately, I don't have time to do another Make a Track Monday this fortnight, but hopefully next fortnight I will, so stay tuned for that one. Anywho, without any further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so here we are in the Ableton Live session of the remix that I did for Spectoral's awesome track, Sweet Deprivation, which released last Friday. So go check that out if you haven't already. But so what I'm going to do is just start off basically with the drums. I'm just going to walk you through the drums of the track. So here we go. Basically, the drums are pretty simple in this track. It's just mainly kick and snare, and then the percussion, what I've called percussion, which is actually sliced up drums of the original track. So I can play that for you, which is actually basically what I started with. Basically how I did that, I just took the drum stems from the original track and sliced them up in simpler, as you've probably seen me do a bunch of times. Sliced it by transients and just played in a cool little drum pattern on my push, basically. Just doing some random things until I came up with something that I liked, and then layered it with a kick and a snare, which you can hear sounds like this. And I just slightly sidechained the percussion to the kick as well. I also added in this little snare roll, which is from the original track, and just EQ'd it a little bit so that it fitted in more with the kind of lo-fi vibe of the track. A bit of a crash, and then nothing else too major there. And the drum pattern is pretty basically the same throughout the entirety of the track. I did the little atmospheric percussion loop thing that I showed you guys in a previous video just for the first part of the track here. Sounds pretty cool. And then basically once I had the basic drum loop down pat, I started playing in some chords. Now you'll notice that most of the melodic and harmonic material here is actually all audio, and that's because a lot of it came from either the stems or my Nord. So you can see that there's pretty much, in fact, no MIDI instruments except for the drums whatsoever. And basically I started with this chord progression that I just played out on an electric piano sound on my Nord. I'll turn off the compressor. Just playing this whilst listening to the vocals. Layered that with a bit of a pad. And then added a bass that just kind of flowed along with this. Turn back the compressor and put it on the kick. And there was this little cool guitar thing in the stems that I wanted to put in the track. And so what I did, I just kind of made it a bit slicey and phased out and added some reverb and stuff. And this is what it ended up sounding like. This is without all the effects I added. And then this is with them. And just add some really nice kind of shimmery atmosphere to the track, especially in these more kind of open, spacious sections. As you can hear there. I also added this little res lead, or that's what it's called on my Microkorg XL. It's just kind of like a resonant lead. Basically, I just recorded this in and worked as a nice kind of little transition-y part and just kind of second melodic element to the track. Obviously added some processing as well. It didn't sound like this originally. That's what it sounded like. I added that kind of auto pan there and some delay to give it that kind of old school feel. Pretty cool. Then basically what I did, I had this kind of more down-tempo-y, spacious part, and then kind of wanted to build it up again, but keeping the same kind of structure and chord elements and stuff. So what I did, I actually just created a new bass sound and a new kind of pad sound that was more big and fuller. So this is the new pad sound that I created. Kind of more synthy and like big and spacious. It's and layered with the other things, it becomes a bit more full. And then also a bigger kind of detuned saw-like bass, which sounds like this. Which takes the place of that kind of original bass line. And the two, as you can see in this later part of the track, they end up interchanging so that you kind of get this flow from one sound to another sound. And this second bass is linked to this second pad, and the first bass linked to the first pad in the electric piano. So it kind of works out pretty well. Next thing I want to go over is the vocals. So basically I started out with just the original vocals. And as you can see, they're not really hugely processed on the track. They're a little bit processed on the grip bus, but the actual processing on the original vocals, there's, in fact, as you can see, nothing basically. It's just an EQ that I didn't even end up using. That's because the vocals on the original track were EQ'd, were reverbed and all that, and sounded nice enough as is. So this is what they sounded like. Don't empty my soul. Had a lot of delay and reverb and stuff on it already. So what I decided to do was instead layer it with a kind of octave down version of the original vocals, just to give it a little bit more thickness, and you can hear what that sounds like here. Don't empty my soul. It just adds that little bit of extra layer to the vocals. And you can also see here in this second chorus, I added a higher layer as well, which sounds like this. And it's actually, this one here is a fifth higher, and this one here is a whole octave higher. So you get this kind of, if I solo the vox here. Just this nice kind of thickened out vocals to go with this thickened out chorus with the new bass line and sounds and everything like that. One cool thing that I did for pretty much the entirety of the track as well is what I like to do a lot when I'm working with vocals, and it's a bit of a reverse reverb thing. So basically what you can do, so if you take, let's say, the original vocal channel here, and you basically just reverse a little bit of that. So if, let's say, I just take this first kind of bit just here, and I just reverse, crop, and reverse this, what you can do, so it ends up sounding like this. Kind of cool already, but if you drown it in reverb and just like a bunch and all that kind of stuff, and then say I were to freeze this out, basically what would happen, so it ends up sounding like this, which is kind of cool in and of itself. And then basically what ends up happening is that then if you freeze that and then reverse the reverbed portion and then layer it with the original vocals, you get this kind of sound that ends up sounding like it kind of sucks into the vocals. And then if you sidechain that to the vocals, it sounds really cool. So this is what is creating most of the atmosphere in the track. If I play it from about here. And you can kind of make out the original words because what you've done is reversed it and then reversed it again. And ends up kind of sucking in to that, which sounds pretty cool. And if I put on the Vox, you can see that it kind of ducks when the actual vocals are coming through, which makes it so that you can hear and discern what the original vocals are saying, but you still get this kind of atmospheric thing going on in the background and filling the gaps between the vocal phrases. Not much else in terms of the effects. I've just added some kind of noise sweeps and reverse sounds and stuff everywhere, as you can kind of hear, just some sample packs and some... Nothing too intense going on there. But the structure of the track is a little bit interesting. So basically what I decided to do is do a verse, a chorus, a verse, a chorus. And that's kind of similar lengths and everything. And then this last kind of almost half of the track really is where these two kind of different feels of the track, this more spacious feel and this more full feel of the second chorus kind of come together. And the vocals come in together as well with this synth solo that I played out on my Nord. And I've just kind of wanted to weave things in and out and then make it so that they all kind of came together and overlapped and created this big kind of wall of sound before just dropping out again. So as you can see, pretty much everything is in here, including vocals. So I've got this bridge vocals here, which I've got a little bit of automation of some stuff on. So this is a lot more processed, as you can see, than the original vocals, and it sounds like this. This is without all the processing. So basically, having it like this just creates more room for the synth solo to come out, basically. And everything else come out as well. And then I've also layered on this kind of part where it says, "You took apart my soul," panned it and some stuff. You took apart my soul. So layered this. So it's just about layering a bunch of different things to create this, like I said before, wall of sound and really cool atmosphere. And then it kind of starts to build up when you get this took apart my soul coming in. Just kind of goes through until the end. Just drops back down with the vocals kind of going out over the top of it. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this walkthrough of the remix that I did, and if you guys want to see some more track walkthroughs in the future, definitely let me know. And if there's anything that I didn't cover in this that you want me to cover more in depth, again, let me know that as well. I'll make sure to link where you can listen to the track down in the description, so if you haven't already, definitely go and check it out, and then maybe this will make more sense to you. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you really enjoy my content, consider heading over to my Patreon page and supporting me on there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. My name is Martiln, and I'll see you in the next video.